good day, people. Welcome to Gumbo for the Soul, a podcast. This podcast was inspired by my cookbooks, Gumbo for the Soul, Faith Affirmations in Food, and I have a Gumbo for the Soul child version. Both are available for purchase on Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, and Books a Million. Um, this podcast is a happy space, and this is a safe space. Today is Think About It Thursday, and what I want us to think about is how do we deal with anger? I know a lot of adults that do not know how to deal with anger. A lot of adults, they yell, they have outbursts, they say things that they shouldn't say, and they blame it on the fact that they were angry. And this is due to the fact that we were not taught how to regulate our emotions when we were children. So believe it or not, if you're a person that when you get angry, either you have loud outbursts, you yell, you curse, you scream. Sometimes you even hurt people or do vindictive things to people when you're angry. That means that you don't know how to regulate your emotions. So one of the things that I have learned in my research is that it's very important for us to teach our children how to regulate their emotions. And one of the emotions that we have to help them regulate is anger. It is okay to feel angry. When I was growing up, we really were not, we were raised by the older generation, so we really were not allowed to show our anger, and that is not a healthy way to deal with or process that emotion. So, here are some tips to help your child to regulate their anger. And it's important to remember that when a child is a child, basically, they don't know how to do anything. They don't come into the world knowing how to regulate their emotions. It's up to us as the adults to show them and teach them and help them to be able to regulate or to work through whatever emotion they're feeling. No emotion is a bad emotion. All emotions are good emotions, and all of them need to be worked through. So instead of telling your child not to be mad, we have to teach them how to be mad. So the first thing we have to notice and we have to validate their emotion. This helps the child to feel seen and heard, which can increase feelings of safety and connection and help them shift from reactivity to regulation. So some things you can say when you notice your child is angry. It seems like something doesn't feel good to you. I see that this feels hard. You are safe. I am here. You didn't want that to happen. The the next thing we can do is set boundaries. It's important to set loving limits around any and all behaviors, especially the ones that are destructive or harmful to your child or others. I know right now with my 4-year old, he's learning how to process his emotions. So I taught him the difference between being frustrated and being angry. So, now he'll say, I'm frustrated. So I taught him, how to, it's okay to make noises. It's okay to let me know how you're feeling. So you can say things like, it's okay to be mad, but it's not okay to hit. I know you don't want to hurt me. I will keep us safe, and I won't let you throw things at your brother. Let's find a new way. Yeah, so he reacts a lot of times when he's feeling a certain emotion. And so I am teaching him now, I tell him, you can hit the pillow, you can hit the wall if you want to. You can hit the door, but it's not okay to hit your brother and it's not okay to hit me. Our hands are not used for hitting. So a lot of times if you say no and don't and stop all the time, the your child is going to do the opposite. So it's important to try to frame it in a positive way or use like can do statements. Make sure you focus on the things that he can do. So it's okay. You can be mad, but it's not okay. We don't use our hands for hitting. There's other ways to take out your frustration. And another tool I'm also going to give him is we're gonna make some of those little calm down tools. Like you may have seen them. It's like it's really simple activity. You can take a water bottle. We used to make we would call them like homemade lava lamps, where you put the oil and the water and the food coloring, and you just watch it, go up and down and whirl around. So that's another thing I want us to do. I'm gonna make him some of those calm down tools. Now you can also redirect the behavior. So each child has their own meltdown language, their nervous system's way of releasing emotional tension from their body. Instead of making these needs wrong, we can redirect the behaviors, helping our children channel their feelings in healthy ways. Um, you can introduce wooden toys or carrots. You know, if your child bites when they're angry, you can give them something else that it's okay to bite. The teething toys, the carrots, wooden toys. If your child likes to hit, you can show them, like I said, you can show him he can do wall push-ups, he can squeeze a stuffed animal, crashing in a crash pad, or going outside to play. Actually, going outside will totally and completely redirect the behavior. Or you can do something silly, like sometimes I'll start singing a silly song, or I'll do a little silly dance, just to redirect the emotion and redirect the behavior. If your child likes to spit, you can show them what they can spit on or spit in. You can let them spit in the cup. They can spit in the toilet, or they can go outside if they want to spit. Don't spit on people, and you don't spit on things. So it's about redirecting the behavior. If they like to destroy things when they get angry, if they like to tear up stuff, so instead of them tearing up things that they shouldn't tear up, like books or, something that's important, like toys, different things like that, you can give them some paper to tear up. You can give them some bubble wrap, or you can give them some dry spaghetti noodles. It's all about redirecting the behavior. You don't want to yell at them whenever they're already dysregulated, because yelling at them, that's going to activate that fight or flight response that we all have. So either they're going to learn how to regulate their emotions, or they're going to end up shutting down. And it's not healthy for them to shut down, because when they become an adult, they're not going to know how to express themselves. So they're either going to let it all build up and then have a big outburst and do something that they regret later or after the fact, or we can help them now to deal with their emotions. And anger is just one emotion. There are several other emotions that we will talk about later, but anger is the one that they seem to express the most. And like I said, whether we believe it or not, they model themselves after what they see us do, what they see on TV, what they see other people do, but they're going to model after you. So you have to think about, as an adult, how do you deal with your anger, and especially in front of children? Like, how do you deal with your anger? Like with your partner, with your employer, with when you're driving, when you're going about your day, even when you're dealing with something that they might do that may anger you or frustrate you. How do you deal with it? They're going to model themselves after us. It is important that children know that while they are feeling bad, it doesn't mean they are bad. Never tell your child that they are bad. Never tell them that they are being bad. Always remind them that they are good. Sometimes they just make the wrong choices. You have to constantly affirm your love. You have to constantly tell them, you are a good child having a hard time, and I'm here with you. I can handle your big emotions. It is safe to let them out. This will not last forever, and I will stay with you while it's hard. A big mistake is to either send the child in another room to deal with their emotion, or you leave out of the room and leave the child by themselves. It's not okay to leave them by themselves. Now, it's okay if you need a moment to deregulate yourself to make sure you don't go off on them, but it's always a good idea to go back and hold that space with them so they won't feel alone, left alone to deal with those emotions, because that's going to turn into an adult who they're going to shut down, and they're not going to know that it's okay to show emotions in front of other people. So think about yourself as an adult right now. Like, how do you deal with your emotions? Is it easy for you to talk about them? Is it easy for you to show how you really feel in front of certain people? Um, that all depends on how your childhood was. Were you allowed to show your emotions? Did you get sent to your room when you were feeling angry, or did you go to your room, slam doors, and different things like that? That's because you weren't taught. how to regulate your emotions when you were a child. So my biggest thing is I'm not bashing how we were raised, but when you learn better, you do better. So now that you know these things about yourself and other adults, if you've been in a relationship with a person who has anger management, and we're quick to point the finger and say, a person has anger management issues. So if you know, an adult or yourself, if you know you have anger management issues, I'm sure that that's not the only emotion that you need help in managing. So, like I said, as children, they come here, they're like a blank slate. It's up to us to teach them and model to them how to regulate and manage their emotions. Make sure they know it's okay to feel all their emotions. And after they calm down, so you cannot tell a child to calm down. You cannot reason with the child when they are feeling any type of big emotion, anger or any other emotion. Um, Wait till everything is calm and regulated. Then you can talk about what happened, how they felt when it happened, how the other person involved felt, and talk about some strategies for next time. And then you can focus on repairing and making amends. Do not force your child to say sorry because they don't mean it and they don't understand what it means. They have no idea what empathy is. They don't know how to put themselves in the other person's shoes, but you can teach them how to do that. You can ask them, well, how do you think your brother felt when you hit him? How do you think your brother felt when you threw that at him? How do you think he felt when you bit him? Or, just use the scenario, but don't try to reason with them while they're in the middle of uh, that big emotion. Wait till everything is calm, and then you can talk about different ways to handle that emotion. You can tell them the some of the strategies I said. Hitting the pillow. Make it okay for them to be able to yell and make noises to get that feeling or that emotion out. Give them things to do. To help them regulate, and don't leave them by themselves. So that's what I want us to think about on this. Think about Thursday. Instead of telling your child not to be mad, focus on teaching them how to be mad. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just stand there and sit there with them. My child has had that, the big meltdown, you call it, falling out, screaming and hollering and yelling while we were in a public place. He's done it in Walmart. He's done it in the car. And he's done it at different places that we've gone. And the answer is not to not take him anywhere. The answer is not to yell at him. The answer is not to hit him. um, the answer is if I can, I just make sure that he can't hurt himself, he can't hurt others, and I also make sure that, like if, uh, that he can't go into a dangerous space. Like if it's, some children like they run, they fall out on the floor, kicking and screaming. It's okay to let them feel that emotion, but the biggest thing is prevention. I try to do everything I can to prevent that moment from happening. So whether it's if he's asking for something, I will say, okay, we'll put it in the buggy. And then when we get to the checkout, a lot of times, whatever he asks for, if I really don't want him to have it, or if I really don't want to buy it, it just magically disappears. And I redirect with something else that I know that he likes, or something else that I would rather, buy him or get for him. And the craziest place is when you go to Walmart, because they have all these things at the checkout, that your children are begging you for and asking you for. So I do a lot of redirection while we're in the checkout line. Um, so please remember on this thing about Thursday, it is okay for your child to be angry. It's okay for them to feel all their feelings. And it's very important that we stay there with them while they're in the middle of that big feeling. Like I was saying, if we're in a public place, if I can't remove him from that space, like if I'm checking out and he's having a meltdown, I just make sure that I try to tell him that it's okay. It's okay to feel your feelings. It's okay to feel however you're feeling, and but I still hold my boundary. If I say we're not gonna buy it, we're not gonna buy it. And I don't worry about what other people think. I don't worry about how other people feel because I know he's a child and he's learning how to regulate his emotions. And it does not make you a bad parent if your child is having a meltdown. You hold that space with your child and make sure your child knows that you're there. So, as always remember that you are smart, you are blessed, you're loved, and you can do anything. So, thanks for listening, and until next time.